Hello everyone and welcome to this Walking Dead video. So today we're going to be going through the Walking Dead Onslaught Combat Rebalance Patch Update. So they put out an update that was called Combat Rebalance Patch, and we're going to read through everything that they changed, everything that they could do to make the game better. And I went back to the game today and played a little bit of it, not much of it, but a little bit of it, to see if the changes that they made any real difference to the game so far. Alright, so let's get started with the introduction on what they have to say. After launching The Walking Dead Onslaught in September, we have been listening and processing the valuable feedback we've received from our player community. Today, we have just pushed a major combat rebalance patch, which is now live. Alright, so the first weapon combat overhaul is ranged weapons. So all ranged weapons have been tuned to allow for one-hit kills to the brain at close range, less damage is dealt to the jaw, and significantly less damage is dealt to the neck and below. Now, I want to say that is in a lot. That is about in all of them, like the ranged weapons, the melee weapons, and the pistol weapons. Every weapon has basically had their damage values tweaked when you hit a zombie in the jaw or the neck or below, it says. So ranged weapons now have custom fall off damage over distance, which can be improved via weapon upgrades, refined powder. This excludes the lever action rifle, revolver, and crossbow. So basically most of the ranged weapons, let's be honest here. Simulated weight on heavier / longer ranged weapons has been adjusted for better usability. This weight can be neutralized by stabilizing two hands on a weapon. Ammo pickups now grant less ammunition per weapon, increasing ammo scarcity. That is good, but when I played the game today, I didn't really feel that I had a ton of ammo. I was just, in fact, at the end of the, just before I escaped, I just sprayed all my ammo everywhere because I just had so much of it. All ranged weapons have had their maximum ammunition and upgraded ammunition capacities rebalanced to the new weapon damage values. Ranged weapons brought into Scavenger Run as part of the player loadout now start with the single magazine's worth of ammunition rather than the maximum for the weapon. The ammo bonuses granted by the Forge have been increased from 40% at max level to 125% plus 25% per upgrade. Increases blunt damage on all ranged weapons. The copper tip upgrades for the heavy pistol, lever action rifle, and crossbow are now more effective and have higher penetration values. The basic pistol is now less accurate at range to compensate for its new one-hit kill capability. Alright, so ranged weapons actually means, everything that shoots. Now, when I think of ranged weapons, I think of like long range to medium range weapons, some weapons that have some range. I don't really think about pistols and stuff like that when I hear ranged weapons, but I guess all guns and the crossbow are categorized as ranged weapons, which that makes sense, but I don't know, it was just me thinking that ranged weapons would be, like long ranged weapons, I don't know. And for the pistol, one-hit killing zombies when you hit them in the head, is that change, first off, should have been in the game since the beginning, but now that it's in the game, it works most of the time, okay? I found that sometimes it doesn't kill zombies with one hit to the head, but that only happened like twice. Most of the time when I shot zombies in the face, they died in one shot, which is good, and it should be how all Walking Dead games are. In fact, the only way a zombie should be able to die in a Walking Dead game is if you hit them in the head, and that just doesn't happen in this game. You can take your knife and grab the zombie and just stab him in the stomach over and over and over again, and eventually he will die. You don't even have to hit him in the head. Like, I just grabbed a zombie, stabbed him in the chest, and he died. So that's not really Walking Dead like, okay? All zombies should be only die if you hit them in the head. Like, you break through their skull and get in their, cut their brain or whatever. Also, with guns and everything, I think first off you should find even less ammunition than what you do after this update. Ammunition needs to be really scarce, but also guns, I mean, might as well just give them all the ammunition they want, because there's no sound mechanic in this game and there's no horde mechanic. The horde that they have is like some paper cutouts and 2D shadows and stuff, which is not very menacing, and the horde is just stupid, which they also made the horde slower, by the way, but we'll get to that later. They need to have a sound and a horde mechanic where like the louder you are, the more times you shoot your gun, the more sound that goes on or whatever, it starts attracting more zombies. And then when whatever, if it has like a bar or something at the top, whatever way you want to do this, once it hits a certain amount of sounds that you made, it needs to just like, you have a horde on you, and now there's just a ton of zombies because you were just so loud, and now you got a ton of zombies on you. That's how this should be in a Walking Dead game. That's how the sound should work. You shouldn't just be able to shoot your gun all willy-nilly and not have any consequences. Alright, let's check out the melee weapon combat overhaul. Again, all melee weapons have their damage values tweaked. Sharp melee weapons, blades and axes, now stick inside a walker's skull on kill, and they will resist easy removal, so it'll be harder to pull them out, which I did find that it is harder to pull. It's not really hard to pull. Like cleavers and axes and stuff, they get stuck in there, and it's like on a set timer or something, because no matter how hard you pull, like there's no like pull, or I don't even know how to explain this, like pull weight or something, like it doesn't matter how hard you pull. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it's automatically, you hit them in the head and then your thing is stuck in there for a few seconds and then you can pull it out. And yeah, I just found that kind of weird. It should have like a system where, you know, to pull it out, it depends on how hard you pull. Like if you're gently pulling your controller, then like it's harder to get it out. But if you like rip your controller towards the like ceiling or something, you just rip it right out of the zombie's head. And this is one big one that I thought was so dumb, and they finally fixed it right here. Dead walkers no longer automatically detach from melee weapons when impaled, and will not automatically drop out of your hand, which is awesome. You can permanently hold a zombie as long as you have it by the neck or shoulder. It will no longer automatically detach, and when you stick your weapon in its head, it'll no longer automatically detach. You can leave it in there if you want, and it's something so simple, but I mean, why would you not have it like it is in this update? Why would you ever want it to automatically detach from your hand? It just doesn't make any sense. So that right there is a great update right there, something that they fixed. That is good. While impaling a walker with sharp melee weapon, player movement is restricted for as long as the weapon remains stuck in the walker. Additional simulated weight has been added to heavier, longer melee weapons. This weight can be neutralized by stabilizing a two-handed weapon. So apparently they added weight to the heavier, longer melee weapons, which I assume is the sword and the axe, but I didn't really find that the sword or axe played any differently. They didn't feel like they had much weight to them, and I could just swing them with one hand, no problem, chopping all the heads off, sticking the axe in all the heads with just one hand. Two-handed didn't really make a difference, so maybe add more weight or fix it. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but the axe and the sword still don't feel like they have any weight to them. Reduced blunt melee damage for sharp melee weapons when striking with the hilt or other non-sharp surfaces. The crowbar, battle axe, and shovel have retained higher damage for these blunt attacks. The knuckle knife has been completely retuned to better emphasize blunt damage. Two-hit punch to the head, one hit when upgraded. The knife end is no longer an instant kill head strike, but also does not stick in skulls on kill. The impact upgrades for the hammer, bat, and battle axe are now more effective. Explosive damage values have been increased. So the knife, the knuckle knife, in my opinion, is kind of weak, and the punching doesn't really work that good for the I don't know if it's with the hitboxes or I don't know. It just, the knuckle knife did not feel that good to use when I used it. So I think they still got some things that they got to do to rebalance the melee weapons in this game, but they're getting somewhere. Alright, now we're going to kind of go through the last bit a little bit quicker. Walker perception and aggression has been increased. Walkers now deal significantly more damage when biting. On survivor and veteran difficulty, walkers now also deal initial grapple damage before the biting starts. Increased number of walkers in campaign chapter 1. Armored walkers and spiked walkers are now more difficult to kill. Spiked walkers are now noticeably more deadly than other walkers, as they should be. Armored walkers should be probably the hardest to kill because they're super armored. Spiked walkers should be difficult to kill, but not as difficult as armored ones, because again, they're fully armored. The only way is to get up under that helmet. And on survivor and veteran difficulty, I don't really see many differences because they're both not that difficult, but it's good that walkers deal more damage, because before I felt like I couldn't die, but now playing today, you definitely can die if you're not careful, whereas before you could just shoot your gun, you just walk up, stab everything. It really didn't matter what you did. There was not much chance of you actually dying. Progression has been eased. There is more food in early game to allow for smoother level progression. I think they should just make you get more people, so that way you don't have to play the scavenger missions over and over again to do the campaign missions. Change the first time user scavenger site mission. That's pointless. I don't know why they really did that. Reduce the speed of scavenger herd wall when playing on novice or survivor difficulty. Not sure why they did that, because it wasn't that fast in the first place. You could get through most of the buildings, and they're supposed to be a little fast so you don't get to every building, which will make you want to play again. You won't want to play it again because it's not that good, the scavenger missions, but it's there to make you purposely miss things so you can do the run again and then go and check out the buildings that you might not have checked out your first run. Additional changes: they added an option for left-hand dominant players who use smooth locomotion to swap movement and turning. Reverse grip on bladed weapons will no longer cause a choked walker to detach. Choked or impaled walker corpses have increased weight. Not sure why that happened, but no longer automatically fall to the floor. Okay, increased velocity when throwing walker corpses. Now, I threw a walker corpse earlier today in this game, and it went flying. It went way farther than I mean, it didn't go flying, but it went way farther than I thought it was. I felt like Hawk at the moment, just like throwing people. Alright, choked walkers can now be brought closer to the player's face too. I don't know if that was that. I mean, that's all good. Most of these changes are good. In fact, all these changes are pretty much good. So a couple things I think they need to change is the crossbow. The crossbow still feels terrible to use. I never want to use it, and I would be the first person to say, you know, like, I would be the first person to use the crossbow. You know, I always pick crossbow or knives in games when I can, because I just find them cool, especially crossbow. I like using crossbows in games, but in this game it just feels terrible to use, and reloading it is terrible, and it's just not that much fun. So they definitely need to do stuff with the crossbow. Also, to me, I feel like the lever action just feels terrible to use too, and the lever action shotgun also feels terrible. I think all the lever action guns feel terrible to use, and I don't know, they're just bad. I also want to see a spear, you know, from from like the show, where they're building spears, maybe even a bow, like a normal bow that you have to reload. That would be kind of cool. But I want to see a spear and maybe a metal shield with the spikes on it. That would be cool. Also, what they could do is, this is what they could do. They could add co-op and then co-op campaigns. And I don't mean campaigns like stories, like the Daryl story that they have. I'm talking campaigns like Left 4 Dead campaigns, alright? Because they obviously wanted this game to be like a VR Walking Dead style of Left 4 Dead. And I think they need to add co-op back, because this game was supposed to have co-op, and they need to add the Left 4 Dead campaigns, and I think this game will automatically be a little bit better, and it will make a little bit more sense on why it's built the way it is. But there's just so many flaws with this game. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to bring it back. Anyways, I've been going on a rant and talking about this game for about 15 minutes now, which 99% of you won't even make it this far, so that is all I gotta say for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below, tell me what you guys think about this game, what you think about the updates, and if you've gotten this far. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because you want to be subscribed, and I will see you guys next time.